Official discussion, Deadpool and Wolverine. Spoilers.
Of all the cameos, Channing Tatum as Gambit was my absolute favorite. His "maybe I was born here in the void" meta line, because his movie never came to fruition, and Tatum's accent made it even more funnier. Deadpool's joke about his dialect coach being minions. My theater laughed so hard. Loved the way they portrayed Gambit's powers. Jump Street movies and this. We need Tatum in more comedic roles.
Gambit just straight making people pop like balloons of viscera was great.
This is a good year for great Gambit moments between this and X-Men 97.
2024, being the year that finally made Gambit cool, was not on my bingo card.
Gambit was always cool, but just glad to see more people recognizing it.
Seriously? When has Gambit not been cool? Is it because I'm a 90s kid I felt he was always cool? What's next telling me Nightcrawler isn't cool?
And his meta line, there's only one blade and there's only ever gonna be one blade.
Stares at camera.
Is your dialect coach the minions? Also had my theater in stitches. There were so many quips that got laughs, I lost count. Your tailor is a predator was also a good one.
Your tailor is a predator was also a good one. That was probably my biggest laugh after the whole butt-slapping montage. I'm chuckling just thinking about it.
Seriously, the laughs were evenly rolling out like they were on a conveyor belt for the first half. Also, the Human Torch. Everyone was just laughing the whole way through his intro.
The post-credit scene was fucking incredible.
There's something so funny about Chris Evans' rapid-firing profanities.
In his natural accent. I love any time he gets to use it.
They really weren't kidding about the cameos being so insane. He's my favorite part too, and I thought Blade turning up was peak. I wasn't ready. His accent, my god.
These motherfuckers still ice skating uphill was the climax of the movie for me. Tatum was great too, and honestly didn't feel like Snipes was even trying, but I fucking love that line. OG and in D&W.
I somehow was the only person in the theater who laughed when Blade said that. Like, you motherfuckers never watched Blade before?
It is worth noting that the first Blade is like 26 years old now, which is 11 years older than the age rating on this movie. There's a whole generation of motherfuckers that don't know.
Deadpool made a joke about Batman not being able to turn his neck, but my goodness, Gambit's neck thing looked just as uncomfortable.
I have waited almost my entire life to see a big-budget superhero movie actually use the head sock to see if it works or not in live action.
And the results are in, it does not, but it's fine. He was surprisingly great anyway, and it was just cool to see Gambit in his 100% perfect comic costume.
I always thought it was meant to be a fabric like the rest of the super suits you see. But going full plastic was a choice.
Fuck everything else, Disney Marvel. Give me the fucking Tatum Gambit movie you canned after buying Fox. After Secret Wars, that beautiful beast should be one of your main X-Men going forward. He's that much fun.
They call me Gambit, do they? Or did you just want them to reel bad, but it never quite worked out?
The Gambit.
Welcome to the MCU. You're joining at a little bit of a low point.
They've acknowledged it, now they have to fix it.
I kind of agree with Ladypool that post-Endgame has been pretty consistently solid. People seem to have amnesia about how many lame movies were before Endgame. Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3, Thor 2, Avengers 2, and Captain Marvel are all far worse than Shang-Chi, No Way Home, Doctor Strange 2, Black Panther 2, Guardians 3, Marvels, and now Deadpool 3. And I liked Thor 4 a lot more than any of those pre-Endgame movies I listed, but I know the hive mind hates Thor 4. The ratio of good to bad is pretty similar in the Infinity Saga and Multiverse Saga.
That's true. Also, WandaVision, Loki, Hawkeye, and Moon Knight were all varying degrees of solid as well.
Henry Cavill was not on my bingo card, but it was a nice surprise.
The comic-accurate height Wolverine.
That will be engraved in my brain forever, and Deadpool just walked off backwards after seeing that.
It was hilarious and horrifying to see tall Hugh Jackman be comic-accurate height Wolverine. That is something that will stay in your memories.
We also saw a version of Wolverine on a Jesus-like cross.
Really, all the Wolverine alternates were a nice surprise. The original suit Wolverine looked good.
Age of Apocalypse. Logan beating the living shit out of Wade, even with a missing arm, was a welcome surprise.
And his enormous 90s Connix bouffant hair. That cracked me up.
And his enormous 90s Connix bouffant hair. They got the hair right on basically all of them. Really well done.
3 things I never expected coming into this. 1. Deadpool using Logan's skeleton as a weapon. 2. A crowd losing their shit for Wesley Snipes to the same degree as Andrew Garfield in NWWH. 3. The end credits getting me nostalgic for the Fox superhero movies. Good shit all around. The crowd was really into it, and the laughs were non-stop. Action was awesome, and the callbacks and cameos were fun. Not the best superhero movie by any stretch, but it was hella enjoyable, and frankly, Marvel needed that.
My crowd lost their shit for Blade, and when he said the ice skating line,
I genuinely can't believe Ryan Reynolds was willing to bring him back after the shit he went through on Blade Trinity.
and he made a quip about that too. Blade, I don't like you, Deadpool. You never did.
Ah, shit, I didn't catch that line until now. Fantastic.
There are tons of double entendres that are hella meta refer to real-life things between the actors. One I had a good giggle at was Deadpool giving his condolences to Elektra for Daredevil's death, and she just brushes it off. Seeing as Jennifer once married Ben Affleck, aka the first Daredevil, it felt like a cute jab.
Logan asking for his past to be fixed, only to be told that his past is why he was here in the first place, is a deep meta-cut. That all the Fox movies and the rights drama and bad films is how we got here in the first.
This isn't just a Deadpool movie. This is a wonderful love letter for Fox Marvel movies. The end credits BTS video of all Fox Marvel movies was wholesome to watch.
Exact same thing I said. Feige got his start with the first X-Men, and it really felt like he probably wanted to give those films a heartfelt farewell. Except you, Logan. Until you're 90.
This feels like a threat.
More like a promise. Till you're 90.
I thought you retired. I'm retarded?
There's only one Blade, and there's only ever gonna be one Blade.
So, my brother-in-law was a huge X-Men nerd. He had the entire movie franchise on Blu-ray, and we had watched it a few times together over the years. He even introduced me to Deadpool and took me to go see both 1 and 2 in theaters. Post-COVID, my sister broke up with him. He ended up in the wrong crowd, started doing heavy drugs and all of that shit. A few months ago, he OD'd. When he died, I played Good Riddance, Time of Your Life, on guitar almost every day for a few weeks as a form of therapy. So when the credits rolled and the BTS footage played along with the Green Day song, I started bawling. I wish he got to live long and sober enough to enjoy this movie. He would have loved it. Andrew, I love you, brother, and I'm sorry. You deserve to see this fantastic movie. Edit. Thank you for all of the kind words and support. I truly appreciate it.
Thank you for sharing this.
I wish your brother got to see this, but I'm glad you did. The proposal.
Nicepool's fourth wall break was great.
It was a fourth wall break inside a fourth wall break inside a fourth wall break. It's Nicepool speaking directly to the audience while referencing a movie his actor was in, and with a meta joke about how some people criticize Deadpool for relying on lazy reference humor, a la Family Guy.
That's like 64 walls.
Nicepool was hilarious in every way.
Every single sorry and other Canadianism got a good laugh from me.
I watched it in Canada. The audience lost it at the Saskatoon blowjob joke.
My theater in Toronto erupted when the TVA agent insulted Canada and promptly got a bounced sword through his head.
So did my theater, and we aren't even in Canada. Also, a Will Smith line that followed was hilarious.
What was the Will Smith line? I don't remember that one.
Keep my country's name out of your motherfucking mouth.
Oh, right.
Fucking flame on. I put it together literally seconds before the reveal, but goddammit, that bit made me as giddy as a schoolgirl.
I just wish we got to see Johnny have a legit action scene before being knocked out by Pyro.
Seriously, Human Torch is a badass, and they made him look like a bitch.
That was intentional. Joseph Quinn will do it right next year.
That was classic bait and switch. When he used the cursed words, I was like, that's not Cap. What the shit? And there comes Johnny Storm.
I just thought that specific Cap had grown bitter since his banishment. The Johnny reveal is much better.
That monologue rant by Wolverine in the car was crazy. For a moment, it felt like I was watching Prisoners again. Angry Hugh is the best Hugh.
That was Jackman at his best. You couldn't even save a relationship with a stripper line was cold.
DP had it coming after the line about Hugh and his divorce. That was colder.
The Bye 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 opening scene was so fun. I was smiling and laughing throughout the scene. I can't stop talking about it.
I wonder what kind of boost that video will get after this. I really hope there is a complete version of DP dancing to the song.
Marvel will have to release a full cut of it, just like they did with Zemo dancing from Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Shit. Shit. Get NSYNC back together and have them record a remaster to promote the film. A la Celine Dion's Ashes.
Was that Matthew McConaughey as Cowboy Pool?
It was. Nathan Fillion was also Headpool.
And Blake Lively as Lady Pool.
Rob McElhenney was a TVA agent, too.
Oh shit, I totally missed that. I was looking for him the whole time.
I missed it too, but Rob is a master of body manipulation, so maybe he was who we thought Blake Lively was. Or maybe he was Ryan Reynolds the whole time. All things are possible through God.
Okay, but why was Thor crying?
I assume that's going to be in the next Avengers movie.
Love the blatant setup for Secret Wars with liberal use of variants and fan service.
When Deadpool first wakes up in the void, there was a Secret Wars comic on the ground to his left.
When I saw the trailer, I went back to read it. Secret Wars NR5 2015. And the panel that stood out for me the most in this context was, sometimes you've tinkered all you can, and the only thing left to do is tear it all down and start over.
Are your dialect coaches the Minions? Probably got the biggest laugh out of me.
I saw someone say they thought his accent was pretty good too. I don't know enough about Cajun accents and culture to say whether or not it was though, but pretty sure Tatum grew up around the dialect.
I would say it was a really good caricature of it. I'm from Louisiana, and he was definitely intelligible, but not authentic, if that makes sense. Like, the mid-Atlantic version of it, very sterilized, but kinda realistic.
One of the things that left me disappointed was how little Daphne Keane got to do, especially when she gets revealed with the cameo group. I think she only has 2 lines that are essentially, I brought you here and let's go. She does get that campfire scene with Logan, which is nice, but man, she's a super talented actress reprising a role where she gave an all-time performance by a child actor, and here she's kind of reduced to another cameo.
I have hope that they have future plans for her, with her being explicitly brought back at the end.
Yeah, hopefully she just becomes the MCU's Wolverine.
I think slapping Hugh into an old man Logan role with minimal shirtless money shots and Laura being the new Wolverine would work, especially since IDK how you follow Hugh's Wolverine.
It serves both as an excellent farewell and welcome back to Marvel's Fox era.
It was a nice homage to the Fox era, although parts of me kind of wish it did more. It's weird to say, but I feel like this movie would have been better with more cameos, specifically some X-Men to give this Logan's backstory more weight.
James Marsden, Famke Janssen, and Halle Berry cameo are welcome in this movie.
Something tells me they're saving them for Secret Wars after they had Kelsey Grammer Beast in Cap Marvel.
The Marvels.
We all knew Hugh Jackman was gonna wear the mask, but the moment when he did sent chills down my spine. Also, my theater exploded when Wesley Snipes showed up. It was glorious.
We all knew Hugh Jackman was going to wear the mask, but the moment when he did send chills down my spine. Also, my theater exploded when Wesley Snipes showed up. It was glorious.
They weren't wrong at the time. They hadn't yet been through 2 decades of superhero films as mainstays.
So all those comments about this movie having a big impact on the MCU weren't true at all, eh? I think all that changed for the mainline MCU is that now Happy Hogan has met Deadpool.
They are saving that Thor tease for Secret Wars. This movie did feel a lot smaller than the previews led me to believe. It's more a Fox send-off movie.
Like a Prayer was an incredible song choice. So good. This movie is a 10/10 on fan service, but overall the plot felt like it lacked real substance. I enjoyed it very much, but the same way you enjoy eating ice cream for breakfast. Kind of gets old after a while and you want something more solid. Human Torch and co. were incredible though.
Just gotta disregard the plot and go along for the ride. I really enjoyed it, but it's not Winter Soldier, nor did it try to be, which is fine.
You say that, but Deadpool 1 and 2 both managed to have a great plot with pretty heavy emotional weight behind it. So it's not like it can't be done. I left the theater with a similar thought. The movie was fun, but it just didn't have the impact that the first 2 have.
I was hoping for an Affleck Daredevil cameo, but I suppose Elektra will do.
They referenced him too, right?
Yeah, they said something about Daredevil being dead, and Elektra said she was fine with it.
I think it was a joke about Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner being married before.
Yup, it was.
Wesley Snipes, you clever daywalking son of a bitch. I expected a film that would both honor and shit on the Fox Marvel era and the current MCU with some meta humor and crude jokes. I got exactly that. Thank you, Ryan and Hugh.
For me, all the cameos and references, while huge fan service, felt more sincere than in Multiverse of Madness. Doubt it will hold up on multiple viewings like other movies. but it's blast of a fun time if you see it without knowing anything about who's in it, since that will be plastered all over the internet before the weekend is done.
It helps that Ryan Reynolds actually has a lot of love for the character and material, plus a lot of creative control.
He even got writing credit this time.
Deadpool beating the shit out of TVA agents with Logan's skeleton is exactly what I needed to open this movie.
The symbolism was so on point.
He said he wasn't going to use his own weapons, and he kept his promise.
He did throw the sword into the guy's face, though.
Henry Cavill loading his guns like in Fallout was incredible. Loved the true-to-comic-sized Wolverine, too. All the variants for both were top-notch.
I'm surprised I had to scroll this far to find a mention of this joke. It's such a specific reference, but it was hilarious.
Best ad for Honda.
The Honda Odyssey fucks hard.
I love you, Dogpool.
That very well might have been the ugliest fucking dog I've seen in my entire life.
That dog was literally voted ugliest dog in Britain.
Thank you for watching until the end. I put a lot of effort into each video, and I'd really appreciate it if you could leave a comment about what you liked or didn't like. Your feedback helps me improve. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and stay amazing.